Hello, hello, hello. It's getting a bit late here. It's almost 6 o'clock on the Pacific coast of the United States. And I am here with episode 2 of your 7-minute Amazon sales booster. My name's Diane.Boerstler. I am fondly referred to as the hypnotic Amazon copywriter or the wolf of ecom. And I have this goal this year to be able to teach you majorly impactful sales boosting tips in around 7 minutes. If you know me well, you know that's really challenging. I like to talk a lot and I can easily present for hours and hours and hours at a time because it's my favorite thing to do. But we got to keep this under 7 minutes or around 7 minutes. I don't want to cut anything out from beginning to end when I start training. So here we go. Today, I'm going to teach you how to use their ego to make you more sales. And if that sounds intriguing, it's because it is. So you already know me probably. I'm the hypnotic Amazon copywriter. I've generated over 5 billion for clients. I'm a sought after expert speaker and trainer. I have a lot of e-com listings out there that generate $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 plus per listing per month. So I know what I'm doing. My average conversion rate is 45%. Some are a bit lower because they're in much more competitive fields or they're more premium products that charge 3, 4 times what everybody else is charging. So my average is 45% and my highest ever was 76%. I also love writing webinars and sales emails and sales pages and ads and advertorials. Let's just say my track record means you should probably stop and listen and try to implement this today. This is going to be really fun. So, as you probably know, I write NLP infused conversational hypnotic copy. I am a master NLP trainer. My success rate in beating controls, which is the original copy that someone wrote, that means getting higher conversions than their copy, is 97% out of the gate. So, I think that's pretty good. I think you'd probably agree. And then I also offer 365 days of unlimited edits and a 10x revenue guarantee. So those are all things you might have heard before, but I like to review and refresh that just in case. Um, so as an aside, with NLP and hypnotic copy, we always want to not sell. We want to bait the trap, right? So we're thinking about around our customers' desires. We're not convincing them to buy. We're convincing themselves. They're convincing themselves to buy. So we want to put those lenses on of just baiting the trap, right? You want to think about putting a nice chunk of cheese on there for a mouth. We're baiting the trap because selling causes fight or flight and buying causes that endorphin rush. It's always important to remember that. So 3 more quick things before we launch, and then we're going to launch really fast. You can always ask me anything you'd like at amazonsalesguru.com. Everything I'm telling you is fact-based and tested. I write between 500 to 1,000 high-converting listings per year. So, and that's for ecom and Amazon. I also have other clients outside the services industry that I help sell $10,000 plus packages with webinars and things like that. So, this is all fact-based and tested across multiple industries and platforms. And if you want free high converting ecom sales copy templates, you can also go to amazonsalesguru.com or rather my YouTube channel. I probably just go to my YouTube channel. They're easier to find under all the videos there, and you can download those for free. Okay, so how to use their ego to make you more sales. Sounds like fun, right? So first thing you need to do is laser in on all the problems it solves for their identity, their ego. People defend their ego to the death. Think of it like a bar fight. So when you know their ego problem, you know how to frame your product or your service as a solution. When you don't know their problem, you're kind of throwing spaghetti at a wall and you're hoping to see what sticks. So identifying their ego problem is going to help you save a lot of time and make money faster. So we want to identify all the big fat problems, right? So what we're first going to do is covertly find answers to prime questions. I'm going to give you those questions shortly. Where we're going to find those are, of course, blog comments, forums, product reviews, competitor product reviews, Facebook groups, where your people who would buy your product hang out. If you don't know who that is, please email me and I'll help you figure that out. That's the most important step before you write your Amazon listing. Step 2, you're going to throw down, which means throw down for a fight or stroke their ego and press their hot buttons in your copy. You're going to frame it in a way that makes them click and pick and buy. And there's a lot more on that. I'm not going to go into that today, but there's a ton on that in my free training series on YouTube. So you can learn more about that there. Today, we're just going to focus on how to find those ego problems and use their ego to make you more sales. So first thing you need to think about is how does your problem help them fix the incongruence between who they want to be, how they see themselves, and who they currently are, right? Think about it this way. When you're writing, this is, the example I give later is a lot more complicated, and I try to use the most complicated example possible where you don't really think about identity much, but I'll give you a simple one to start. When you are looking for a way to lose weight, right? You're incongruent about who you want to be. You want to be this fit person, whether it's a muscular fit person, a thin fit person, however you want to, however you want to frame it. I personally like body. I'm more of a weightlifter type, so I like more of the like toned physique. That's what I always go for. And then how they see themselves. So they see themselves as fat and who they currently are, right? So we want to look at those different things. How do they see themselves? Um, you know, who are they now? Who do they want to be? Okay. So we can ask questions like, how do they look and feel now before they purchase? And you can go and find this information on blogs and forums where they hang out. Um, and how do they think others see them now? So that's the biggest thing. We're thinking, well, how do I look and feel now when I look in the mirror? But really, it's always all about how we think other people see us. Okay. It's never about how we actually see ourselves. There are very few self identifying people or self bolstering people. Most of us care about what other people think, right? So how will buying your product help them belong as one of the pack or even stand out as better? And what does your product do or deliver that helps them believe others see them as who they want to be, right? How does your product help them believe they're a thin person, right? How does your product help them believe they're a fit person? Because we're both throwing down on their ego and we're going to stroke their ego. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. Okay. So I used a bike light as an example. And the reason I used a bike light is because I had someone one time, there's been two times in my career where people have said, it looks like we're going to go over 7 minutes, but that's okay. This is important. There are two times in my life where people have said, well, you can't use, hypnotic or NLP copy won't boost this type of product. This doesn't matter. This sells based on price. One of them was a bike light, and one of them was weed whacker string. I proved both those people wrong, and they're still happy clients. I love you guys. But I always go back to that bike light because I was really, perplexed. Like, why do you think this wouldn't work? Why can't you use NLP and conversational hypnosis in your copy? Why don't you think it'll boost conversions? So, of course, my ego came through and said, you need to prove these people wrong and you need to prove what you do right. So, we're going to use a bike light, long story short. So, if you're talking about a bike light and you're asking the questions, someone who's buying a bike light might be out there buying it. Their ego is going to be saying, I want people who matter to see me as a serious cyclist. Maybe they see that cyclist driving down the road, like not driving, like pedaling down the road every single day, and they look fit and they look like they've got their, what cyclists wear, right? So they've got like their suit on and their tight suit. I can't think of what you call it. I'd have to look this up. And their numbers on the back, and they're just, they're just going, and they have that pointed helmet for aerodynamics, and like we want to frame it that people who have these bike lights, respected cyclists, know that this brand, so this is the guy, the respected cyclist flying on the road, or the woman, know that XYZ brand, whatever the brand name is, delivers these benefits, right? So this is going to be the main benefits they want. You can also use this copy pattern if you're serious about cycling and ready to up level your status, right? So you can then say this is the bike light to get, right? Or this is the keyword, insert keyword to get, because there's a lot of them: cycling light, bike light. But if you've written your own copy, then if as long as it's keyword infused copy. Okay, so number two, they want to be seen as part of the pack. So their ego is saying, their belonging ego is saying, I want other cyclists to see me as one of the pack. So you would use sales copy like sleek, professional, product name shows others you're part of the pack, right? Or you can say, no experienced cyclist would leave home without it, right? So you're part of the pack and the pack's experienced cyclist. Or you can say, you can pretend like it's a quote, and please don't do this unless you have a quote that's similar, because it's not a quote, review that's similar, because you don't want to get in trouble. But you can mesh something like that together, or talk to a cyclist friend, talk to a friend who would use this product, who's like seen as, the god in their field or whatever. So you could say, as an experienced cyclist, we'd never leave home without it, right? You could also go into the group ego and identity. And I brought this up because a lot of times it's not so much about being part of the group. It's not that belonging ego. It's about a common enemy. Okay. So the common enemy in a lot of communities for cyclists right now, and a lot of cyclists complaining about how, they don't have any place to ride. They're no longer allowed to be on the roads. I live in Washington State, which is, I swear, the cycling capital of the world. I think Redmond, Washington is actually the cycling capital of the world. It's like 2 hours from here. but we don't have these same issues. But in other states, I'm hearing about people not being able to ride on the side of the road anymore. We can't ride on the highway. We can't ride anywhere because people think cyclists aren't safe. So their group ego or their common enemy ego is saying, I want all people to think cyclists are safer, and this is the safest. People think cyclists are morons or unsafe, and they want to take away our rights to the road, right? So copy to use would be something like a simple safety measure all cyclists should take to retain our good name, right? Because you're talking about you're kind of poking at that bear that's like, I really don't think it's fair that people think cyclists are unsafe, right? So, but these are all things I grab by actually going to forums and looking and going to forums and Facebook groups, before doing this video. So that's how I know what's going on. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really thought about it much in terms of the group eco identity. That's why I do so much research before I write hypnotic Amazon listings and e-commerce listings and webinars and things like that. Um, so yeah, and I know we're at 10 minutes, we're at 11 minutes, so I'm just going to give you 3 things to remember. Thanks for bearing with me here. You can always ask questions or request free high converting sales copy templates at amazonsalesguru.com. You can, like, after you ask the questions or before, I encourage you to always implement, implement, implement. And if you want even more tips about how to write really high converting sales boosting copy, or even how to grow your business, I would advise you check out my Hypnotic Amazon Copywriter channel. I think there's something like 16 or 17 or 20 videos up there that are I've pared down to like the most important things you need to know. So feel free to check that out and email me anytime. And I look forward to seeing you on the next